EU nationals living in the UK have been alarmed at reports that Britain intends to end freedom of movement immediately if there's a no-deal Brexit. But the government has refuted suggestions that Europeans already living in the country will be left in legal limbo and says they'll still have until the end of next year to register to stay permanently. Well, live now to London, we can speak to Patricia Connell from the 3 Million, a group campaigning for the rights of EU citizens living in the UK. Thanks for joining us on the programme. Can you outline what is your concern exactly? Because the government does say there'll be no changes. Anyone resident by the 31st of October will be able to stay.
Well, it's very easy to say that there won't be any changes. But it's obvious from the start that the government in place is effectively very reckless, because this will actually have a very direct effect on European nationals living in the UK at present. The reason being is that we've got approximately 3.6 million EU nationals living in the UK. Of those, only about 1 million people have actually applied for the settled status. Now, that is effectively the paper that will say, well, actually, it's not a piece of paper. It's just a digital number that you get, and that employers or banks or the NHS will actually have to access to be able to identify you as someone who is allowed to get access to those services. Now, what it means in reality is that from the 1st of November, should we have a no-deal Brexit, nobody will be able to identify the people who have actually arrived before the 1st of November and those that have actually arrived after the 1st of November. And this is why we are seeing at the moment a rush of people trying to register because they know that it will be very difficult for anyone to make the distinctions between the two. So it's all very well saying, oh, but you've got until the end of December 2020 to register. In reality, it will actually have an effect from the 1st of November, should we have a no-deal Brexit.
The government does say, though, that those who are resident will have the same entitlements to work benefits and services. They'll be able to prove these in the same way as they do now. And yet you fear they'll be caught up in a really difficult situation. You even said there could be another Windrush situation. Do you really think things get as bad as that?
Well, I mean, yes, I do, actually. I do think that it could get as bad as that. It's very easy for people who are working, who have a national insurance number and who have a passport with a chip to register, so long as they have an Android mobile phone that actually accepts the app that the government has put in place, except that there are a number of people who fall through the cracks. In fact, we're talking about thousands of people who will be placed in that situation. So we are effectively looking at a Windrush, on steroids, really. This is what Corbyn has said, and I, for once, actually agree with him.